This is Thera Williams, and today's date is June 5th, 2018, and this is Microbiology 225. And this week's experiment will be covering environmental influences on microbial growth, the salt tolerance, and pH testing. This week's experiment we'll be working with nutrient broth and the different percentages of sodium chloride. We have a 1%, a 7%, and a 15%. And we'll be adding some of the active cultures that we did earlier in the class, which is some of the S. epidermis, and also the S. cerevisiae. I have a problem pronouncing that one. But what we'll be doing is adding that to some of the culture tubes. And what I have here, I've already added a lot of the labels. So we have all 6 of the different sodium chloride tools that we've labeled with the names on them. I already have my pipettes that I've already have sitting in the alcohol and just ready to get that experiment going. We have the already measured out pipettes, which is the hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, okay, that's this one. And then we have the sodium hydroxide, and that's this one here. We already have our light, we have our candle, and what it said is that we're going to be adding 2 drops to each of these, and it's going to incubate for about 48 hours. After the 48 hours, then we're going to check it and see if we have any growth. And with that growth, what we're going to be doing is putting that into our lab report. So basically, I've already set everything out. I've cleaned my workspace. I got everything soaking, like I said earlier. Everything is labeled. So only thing we need to do is start the process. So again, we'll just be adding the active culture that we have already made. Like I said, we started this in the beginning of the class. So I do have a little bit left, so hopefully we'll get through this with what's remaining. And again, we'll just be adding 2 drops to each of these tubes and just allowing them to incubate in my, at one time I did use my cabinet, but I kind of realized that the temperature wasn't right and I wasn't getting the kind of growth that I wanted. So what I did was I started to use this cabinet behind me. It's a little dark, and it seemed, because it's a little higher up, it stays a little warmer than it did before. And it seems like from using that particular incubation area, I'm getting a little bit more of a growth with some of my my lab experiments. So after I go ahead and get everything started, that's where I'll be placing it now. So I know in the beginning I used the cabinet underneath, but from this point on, I'll be using the cabinet behind me there. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get this candle going, because we need to start sterilizing the lids as we get started. So once I get that started, then just making sure that I have everything situated on my table, how I'm going to use it, and put it in the order, because a lot of times what they say, you need to kind of move fast so you can kind of eliminate some of the contamination. So that's what my goal is today, is to kind of move a little bit better than I have been and kind of get everything going and see if I can get a couple little growths going within the next 48 hours. Okay, so again, this is Thera Williams, and this is June 5th, 2015, and this is week 6 experiment. Thank you.